Hello everyone and welcome to our special healing grid, clearing the DNA in the conflict between selfish and self-love. No more sacrifice in the way we love, the way we to be loved, and where love feels and fills our heart. I welcome you all on the 11th of March 2015. I honour you all for showing up and supporting me in making a difference, in changing the consciousness of humanity to support the ever-glowing evolution of Mother Earth. It is a really important time in consciousness, and all of you who are on this grid today are very aware of the changes in the evolution process. We will never look back. This is not a roll-on effect. We'll do this again in another lifetime, or we'll do this again in another civilization. We're actually having the honor and privilege of changing the Akashic records, changing the DNA constitution so we can come back to our own true reality, which is love, and allow the vibration of humanity to rise again to a higher frequency so that we do not have the polarity and duality that fights between the light and the shadow. For the light and the shadow is the love on this planet. But we are wanting now to dissolve that vibration that keeps us within that density of sacrifice. I know most of you who have chosen to show up today and be part of this wonderful experience. It has taken me a lifetime, I feel, to get to this point. This is truly part of my purpose. And I've been working consciously on my energy every day since the last huge grid that we did on 11/11/2014. And I knew that was going to be a part 2 to this. I know I did one in December, which was like an interim one, but this really is the second part to what we backed up with in November last year. So over this time, I have been on a lot of adventures. Many of you know I travelled to Singapore, to India, to New Zealand, all on spiritual ventures. Yes, some was a personal holiday as well, but there was some huge revelations that were shown to me. And I don't leave my journey to Singapore out, even though it was only a sort of fly-in, fly-out, 4-day stopover. But it showed me another variation to human consciousness and how comparison and judgment and competing is so consumed in our consciousness, and we are always fighting to be something we don't know what we really need to be. We are never enough. And truly, I do believe it's coming back to the consciousness of self-love, of love in itself. That person's selfish because he puts himself first. That person's selfish because he didn't think of others. He'll always think of others if he thinks of self first. So during my time over the last 4 months, I have had some incredible personal insights. I've had some soul family insights and some consciousness revelations through what I experienced, moving my energy through different experiences. I have owned the Master Healer role now in my journey, which takes quite a lot of courage for me to say. But after 20,000 sessions plus and many group healings, I'm now ready to probably own. I might be an energetic expert in this area, and what is truly showing me through putting together the cosmic puzzle, there is a phenomenal hope and change coming to this planet. Human beings are saying no thank you to being pawns on a chessboard. Human beings are saying no to waking up every day, clocking in and clocking out, and doing, pardon the expression, same shit, different day. So throughout my journey, I've had the privilege and been gifted with the tools to be able to change the Akashic records. And that means when the lessons of humanity are learnt and there is no more need for this memory, we must change that energetic vibration. And with that energetic change must come a healing within our DNA. Now, our body is the most dense part of our four counterparts: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So we can change the Akashic records, we can change the energetic matrix of how things played out. And we are not manipulating or maneuvering consciousness. We are given permission. Throughout consciousness and time, there have been master healers, master teachers that have been given these tools to work with. A part of where we have fallen down is we haven't worked with the strands of the DNA to actually change it in the human constitution, which then allows us to continue to birth and co-create other humans that now are purified from these DNA defects, wounds and distortions. And that is what my work is about. And being gifted in my late 20s with chronic fatigue syndrome, glandular fever and fibromyalgia, it has gifted me the greatest story to be able to create and learn what the endocrine system plays within our body. And hence opened me to a new world of understanding the energetics of the DNA. So with this magnificent tool, learnt through remembering who I was, by going to the bottom of the barrel and climbing my way back out over 20 years ago, I now sit here today and feel very confident that we are energetically capable of changing and healing DNA constitutions within humanity to allow us the freedom to be a sovereign being here on this planet and to hold a vibration of the fifth dimension and above. I've created this grid and invited you all into this sacred space here at Manly. I've been inviting you in one by one. I created a beautiful orb to begin with, to put you all in there to see what vibration was showing, which chakra was prevalent when I massed you all together into the oneness. And a bright golden yellow vibration and ray came. And you all know me well enough to know that is my ray. That is the ray of joy. And that is how I share truth and love with humanity. So we are going to take that vibration to a whole new level today. I've created a clear quartz sphere around the portal here at Spectrum. And inside that we have the golden yellow pyramid. And inside that we have a large rose quartz in the pink ray sphere. And we have all been walking in, and I have been initiating you all through a vibration using the lapis lazuli crystal on your third eye. It was a beautiful process as I acknowledged each and every one of you coming in through the portals of the three gateways into my sacred space. I'm at Manly, as you know, and I am sitting at my beautiful desk recording away, but I also want you to know my personal preparation. I have a large piece of selenite, 3/4 of a metre long, on the ground, and selenite is the crystal that absorbs and heals all distortions within the physical and within the DNA. I've been asked to place my feet on top of the crystal. I also have a beautiful little piece of terminator of chlorite, also a crystal that has been working. It's a new age crystal working also with DNA, and that is in my lap. I have smudged and smudged and smudged till there's no more sage left in my space today. And I'm working with some really deep Sanskrit and Llewellyn music to really hold the harmony. I've also got myself wrapped in the flower of life, which is all the vibration of colour. And many of you have seen that who have visited for a session in my space here at Manly. And before we begin, I'd just like to give you, well, we have begun really, but before I begin really getting into the depths of where we're going today, I want to just explain to you something that I was shown on Monday. And part of my gift in this lifetime is to bring the cosmic puzzle to light. And there is always parts within our own consciousness that we don't wish to remember. And all of you have been on your journey for so long now. And for that, you need to be very proud of yourself. Signing up, waking up and showing up at this very controversial time in evolution not only takes courage to say, I am spiritual, but it is brave that you step out and live from that space. You are amazing souls. Receive. For many of you, you would have heard this expression bantered around spiritual communities. Just remember who you are. When you remember who you are, everything will come. Have we not heard that? Who are you really? For a long time, I've been remembering who I am. I've looked at parallel lives, past lives, interdimensional lives. I've looked at the darkness, I've looked at the light, I've looked at the shadow, I've looked at all parts of the universe. I'm a multidimensional, interdimensional being. I honour and own that. That was an easy part of my journey. The harder part was being human. And for that, I know many of you have felt the same. And that is why you're drawn to me. To bring the joy of the universal love to this planet, where there is harshness, there's many things we do not understand. On Monday, yes, just 2 days ago, a part of something that I denied, that I wasn't allowing myself to see, was shown to me. And in seeing that, I am very aware until now why my energy has protected me from seeing what I saw. Some might say, seeing and living and being part of the fall of Atlantis, could there be anything more horrific, more torturing? Well, there was. And through truly owning my intention after 11/11 last year. I asked through intention to support my journey to let go of all constraints, physical and mental, emotional and spiritual, all illusions that did not serve. I have been on a journey, a big intention. Sometimes, remember, be careful what we ask for. So through that, anything that was denied, anything that I could not see, has been slowly revealed to me, gracefully, and most of the time with ease. But you ask for this, you will receive, and I received. Some of you may be aware of the civilization, the times in Avalon. Avalon was truly a community. It worked with exchange of love and joy. It was a place where people sang through joy, communicated through love and laughter. This community was happening, civilization, in parallel in the times of Atlantis and Lemuria. These are civilizations that I have lived in and played a predominant role. I have seen myself so many times in the Lemurian journey, and my connections to the whales and the dolphins reminds me of those times. My whole work and infrastructure and foundation of Spectrum is based on the purities of Atlantis. My frequencies, my states of being were all created through purification back to that time before the fall of Atlantis. I am sharing this information with you, my sacredness today, to really help you understand what I see, what I feel, and what I know. To help you understand me and the part that I play in the change in humanity, and the part that you have chosen to play with me. What fantastic support I have chosen. Thank you. Many people have mentioned Avalon to me. I am aware of Avalon. It was like I had no memory. I had no understanding. It was like I just couldn't go there. I couldn't take my consciousness there. And for me, it's very unusual. And even at the time when I spoke of Avalon, or others spoke of Avalon to me, it wasn't that I was aware that I wasn't going there. It was more like I mustn't have been there. But something inside me knew I was. But some of you may have heard the expression, the denial is always under the metal vault. And when we are ready in healing to open up that metal vault, there will be a sacred piece to the cosmic puzzle that is missing. Through the journey of my work, I have seen so much, both light and shadow. But nothing has affected me more than what I saw on Monday. And now I understand, now I understand how the polarity and duality of the three-dimensional vibration affects the spiritual being. I was shown a time of purity I was shown a time of song and dance and laughter and love and joy and bliss, of growth and of freedom, of sovereign beings connecting in the freedom of their free will. Lemuria, Avalon, Atlantis were a time when we were trying to embody human, embody DNA, embody a mass. We were experimenting with this. But through the densities of vibration, the lower we go in a vibration, the more dense we become. And I'm sure all of you understand this human journey is a polarity. It is a duality, and it creates an extreme paradox. But the heavier we go, we are forced into this duality. And the Atlanteans, the Avalonians, and the Lemurians were not aware of what this density would do to our spiritual vibration and what divide it would create. So as we played and manoeuvred with creating a mind, senses, and a consciousness that lives through the constraint of a body, we also created an energy of duality. And in that time is when we split, when love became light and shadow. And for many spiritual beings, you have always seen the consciousness as love and light and shadow so far removed. And this has been something that has shown up and challenged me in trying to explain to so many people on their spiritual path. It is not love and light, shadow. It is love equals shadow and light. For that is the polarity and density of the lower vibration of a three-dimensional, two-dimensional, and one-dimensional being. And this distortion in our energy, in our perception, has created so much pain in evolving spiritual beings, as they never gave themselves true permission to go into the shadow. And when we have a perception that self-love is selfish, and selfish is the shadow, there is a catch-22 playing out constantly. We're like little mice running on the circle, around and around and around and around and around. And the torture that played out, self-love, selfish, can't go into the shadow, have to love myself. I have seen this in every single human being that has showed up for healing, that has been in a class with me, that has been on a healing grid. But it is only now that enough of the souls have woken up and said, we are ready to change collective consciousness. And you are them. You are enough. And you are these amazing people that says, I love myself. I want no constraints to block me. I wish to be a sovereign, free being on this ever-evolving planet. I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to be brave and live my life in the uniqueness of who I am. Acknowledge. Receive. So what I was shown in Avalon on Monday was the beginning of the duality as we became dense. So as we became dense in matter, love split into the light and the shadow. And the shadow arose. And with the shadow comes the ego. And with the ego becomes power. And with power comes conquer and destroy. An energy arose in Avalon that created a belief, perception, an illusion within that energy that said, to prove the love for Creator, we must kill all that we love here in Avalon. And as the perception of love fell into light and shadow, the fear consumed, and there was a slaughter of that civilization. And it was not one party against another party. It was one consciousness of power, destroying and forcing others to kill what they loved. I have always been very challenged by trying to understand, and some of you may have seen or heard me write about this, speak of this, particularly in relation to the food and dietary system on this planet. Humans killing humans. I do not understand how humans consciously kill humans. They put additives and preservatives and toxins into food, knowing other humans will be affected, knowing this does not serve our pure constitution. So, I now realise where this consciousness came from, and the shock that evolved within our energy, within our DNA, as then we continued on to create the planet Earth, and the Pleiadians mould the constitution of our DNA with this distortion and memory of the duality of the divide, but also the memory of loved ones killing loved ones, mothers killing daughters, fathers killing sons, sons killing mothers, daughters killing fathers. We have changed the Akashic records and the memory within this slaughter, as we were commissioned to, through the purity of the process of the oneness of the Spirit within. On Monday, a grand being showed up in my space, and this was shown to me, and I honour that being. For this was a part that I need to see, that needed to be shown to me, that was too horrific in my consciousness to not be seen without it being shown to me and showing up in this physical world. So now, just 48 hours prior to this amazing grid, the final piece of the cosmic puzzle fell into place. The Akashic records have been erased. The lessons are now learnt. We have no more karma, no more contracts, and no more sacrifice is required on this planet for the love of another, for the love of Creator, for the love of self. And this will be the beginning of changing the foundations and the platform to rise our vibration to a place where we can all hold it in a fifth dimension polarity and above, without the need of the duality, without the need of the light and the shadow. The only true reality will be the purity of the universal balance of the giving and receiving of unconditional love. We know this is the beginning of the shift that we have been preparing for and from since 2112, and we have been working to this place. All of you who have chosen to be on this grid today was also in Avalon with me, with each other. And I know most of you. Some I know better, but I know all of you. And I had the pleasure of meeting one that I did not know today, who came to visit me, thinking we were going to do this face to face. Bless her. With love I send you. And I got to cuddle her. And now I know why it's important to know me, to hear this information that I am sharing. We all are challenged with understanding why humans kill humans, why humans are so fierce and nasty, torturous and sadistic. And that is because deep down we were forced to do this also. We were in a time where the beginning of the duality was created. So many of you ask me, why have I come back now? I just answered that question. There are so many other layers to that answer. But we are here to clear the guilt that runs rampant within our energy because of this brutal sacrifice that we allowed ourselves to be involved in. We gave away our power. We gave away everything to a consciousness that we didn't understand. But as we evolved into a body, the energy divided into light and shadow. It was sort of out of our control and brand new to us at that time. But we have all had many lifetimes in human form since that time, and we have learnt that we deserve to be a free and sovereign being. And it is now in consciousness, it is now in the Earth's time of evolution that we can show up and we can make a difference. This sharing has gone maybe a little longer than I would have liked, but I feel it was important to let you all know how amazing you are and what courage you have had to be born into this lifetime, to change the wound that distorts the only true reality as love, to change the constitution within our DNA and hold enough light to change the Akashic records. I honour you. So inside our clear quartz cube, which is a sacred geometry piece representing the earth element, the sacred pyramid of wisdom and knowledge, where all spectrums wisdom lies, and the sacredness of the sphere. We are all seated, and this healing is in real time. I have not time locked it. We are doing it right now, like a remote healing. When you listen to this recording, the healing will have been done. It was important. It was activated at 11:11 today. You have had this calling all of your life. So I'm guided now to take a program out of each and every one of your solar plexus. It looks like a computer card that would come out of the hard drive of the computer box with all the little panels and wiring, but it is flat, about the size of an iPad. Days of old, we would have had to go through a huge process to get to this point. But you all know we have been through that process. All the onion layers have come off now. And I am asked to just place my hand at the front of the solar plexus, going across the body and pulling out. It's like the metal block, the metal denial shelf that I used to reference in my healings. We're pulling that out. It's full of guilt, blame, shame, disappointment, resentment, fear, not belonging. And I'm asked just to place it back into the earth and allowing the Great Mother and the Great Father within this planet, Father, Son, Mother Earth, just to dissolve that energy. And note, the solar plexus vibrate the ray, the yellow ray, golden yellow ray. Just allowing the energy now to flow more freely. I'm shown the digestive system healing. I'm seeing the adrenals come back into alignment. And now I'm guided to the original point of the shock of what we were asked to do in Avalon. It has been birthed through our energy, through an empathic consciousness as DNA was created. We're going into the second strand of the outer layer of the pancreas. The pancreas is a place where we metabolize sugar, and it helps metabolize and balance our insulin. We all know that from a physical point of view. But from a metaphysical point of view is where we process the sweetness of life. Our joy radar. It is showing me that all of humanity has a distortion in this part. Some have a greater impact than others. Other constitutions within their DNA may support a lesser impact or a greater impact at this time. But I can guarantee all of you that have shown up on this grid today have a private battle with self-love and some form of way of swallowing down what we are denying. There is some form of addiction within our energy. I am not calling you addicts, for that is not my expression. But it is an addiction of some description. It is private, it is personal. For some it may not. Some may have been consumed with this. For this is the only outcome of the distortion within the joy monitor of our body. For all of us wish to live a joyous, happy life. And there are times when we've had to fake it, and there are times when we have felt it but not really. There are times when we have been by ourselves at home and not understood the despair of feeling so sad and lonely and possibly guilty. But underneath all of this is a deep need for forgiveness for what happened in Avalon. And this is the distortion in the DNA. And it creates all that we are and all that we weren't. And it is only a moment in time, and we all know everything truly happens for a reason. Because the true outcome of all the experiments and work in consciousness and light and vibration and frequency in Avalon, Lemuria, and Atlantis was to create the human being that was able to hold light. So hundreds and millions of years have gone by, but we are doing it now. We are actually able to heal energetically the distortions in our DNA created within the practice of trying to evolve into a human body that happened through civilization after civilization after civilization. But great souls like you that made the choice to come back and purify and go on the struggling journey of spirituality, being love, being unique, being different. So now I'm asked to heal the distortion within the second strand of the outer layer of the pancreas. I'm always shown DNA in an infinity symbol, much like you would see, it's just a metaphor, in the medical journals or on a computer screen when you're seeing DNA be shown through microscopes. And I can see a tear in that aura of the DNA. It's not disconnected, or we would be in all sorts of trouble, but it looks like threadbare, a bit like an electrical wire that's becoming threadbare. And I'm asked to reconnect it. And through that reconnection will take us to the next step of where we need to go. Just be patient with me for a moment as I allow myself to see the consciousness of all of you evolve into one strong strand of DNA. This is only a tool. I am not making you all the same. In fact, we are the oneness, but we are unique in our own journey through the constitution of our DNA. This is just the most advisable way for me to heal this and be seen. Now, just to bring to your awareness, I'm shown now that that piece of DNA is showing up in the vibration of the orange ray, which is the vibration connected to our sacral chakra. So the impact, the greatest impact of this wound has been within the properties of the sacral chakra, owning the divine feminine within, both within the masculine and the feminine, man and woman. Our boundaries, our relationships with others, our networks, our sensuality, our sexuality, all of those areas have been impacted through the wound and the distortion empathically brought through into our DNA, into humanity's growth and civilization, into the cultivation of all humans. I am now just invited to go into the core point of where the front and the back of the sacral chakra meet. Most of you are aware that the sacral chakra and the 5 chakras running down our central nervous system look like 2 cones joined together, with the front and the back cones evenly sized. Now immediately I'm being shown that the front cone is larger. Now the front is where we give, the back is where we receive. And this distortion around loving oneself, putting oneself first, the distortion that is playing out is we always give to others first because of the illusion that we would be selfish. And this was created in that time of the massacre in Avalon, that we had to prove our love through sacrifice. And again, we just keep loving others and giving more to others. And it's a constant, perpetual motion of sacrifice. So much so that has become part of your day-to-day living through many, many lifetimes. In fact, all of them. That you would not even know that you were giving more to others than to yourself. Everybody has different proportions in how you see, how you feel, and how you know how much you give and how much you receive. But all of you give out way more than you receive. And for that, in this time of consciousness, you have done great work. But it is time to let that illusion go. And by doing this, I will be changing the constitution of the vibration in the pinnacle point of the energy connection between the back and the front of the sacral chakra. As we receive through the back and it hits this distortion within this point where the 2 cones meet, it goes out into the universe, into the world, into your family, into your friends, into your work, into everything. Because it says, send it out, must give, must give, must give, must give more than I receive. So we are not holding onto it long enough to allow it to permeate through our endocrine system and connect in to all the other chakras and the pineal, the pituitary, the ovaries, the pancreas, the adrenals, the thymus, the hypothalamus, the thyroid, the parathyroid. All of these glands are being distorted due to this vibration. And this is how we manifest dis-ease within our body. All of the endocrine system is linked to every other system in our body. And our pancreas is a major player in how we metabolize the poison that is now being put into our world, sugar. There is only one way to keep a duality, and that is to play in the sabotage of a civilization. But if there is a distortion in our DNA and a memory in the Akashic records, we lost control, and we are now controlled. We lost our freedom. And now we are seeking this freedom back. Every single one of you, if I asked you this question, what are we seeking? We are seeking freedom. And due to these distortions, it was like a never-ending road. But now we are able to shift this, clear this, and begin driving our own vessel wholly and completely in the purity of love in the fifth dimension and above, but still able to use our senses, our divine mind, and keep our egoic mind, for that is a benefit also. It drives us as long as it doesn't control us. And this is where this vibration will play a huge part. And a driving force of this is judgment. The reason we are unable to put ourselves first is the judgment that would come from being selfish. The vibration between the connection point in the sacral chakra in each and every one of you is now cleared and purified. Congratulations for having the courage to receive. And I'm now shown, as I hold space for the healing within the DNA, it is now holding a pure pink vibration. And for those of you who know me well, I always finish my work on the vibration of the pure pink ray, the ray of love. The sacral chakra vibration is now vibrating to that also. Some physical release for me as we move up through the system. Now I am guided to recalibrating the central channel as one of our pivotal parts. We receive our energy through our auric field via the chakras, and then the chakras disperse it through our endocrine system. Our solar plexus has just been reprogrammed by pulling out an old program, a dead matrix plan. Our pancreas has now just been recalibrated, and the wound has been healed from the distortion of the grandest event in Avalon. The sacral chakra has been recalibrated in the point to purity, where we give and receive the vibration. So now our central channel, this is the pivotal point that receives from the energetic point of the universe as it comes down through our higher chakras and evolves up from our consciousness through our anchor point, holding us here on this planet through the civilization and the connection to the greatest creator of all, Mother Earth. So we are one big long line of energy. We are reaching a point in evolution right now where I am able to take you deeper into the universe, deeper into a place known as the natural universe, a place beyond anything you have ever imagined. And your energy now is travelling up through that central channel, before time, before space, before any of these distortions ever existed. But you all know it's all about the purification. We must purify at a cellular and conscious level before we can tap into a vibration of such purity, or it would blow us out of the water. We would die. But for you, all of you, you are ready. You are ready to feel the natural universe, the purity of love that you have been seeking all of this lifetime and many others. Your vibration is raising to connect with your natural memory. Remember who you are. Here we go. And in reaching, we are forming one large pillar, all of you, past your higher chakras, coming in like roots of a tree, all of you with your own individual central channels, me included. Off we go, straight up like a central pillar of love, right up into the natural universe. There is a gateway opening for us, greeting us. We welcome you. We have been waiting for you all. I am guided to consciously ground our energy through the piece of selenite that my feet are resting on, just to anchor us home here on earth while we travel the furthest we have ever travelled in our energy. I am holding space as an anchor point here on earth. Yes, my energy is travelling with you, but I am multidimensional. I can be in one place and another, as can you. Off you go. Go through the gate. And through the gate, now your energy disperses like it dispersed. It looks like a root system coming up, a central pillar through the natural universe, and you travel off again in your own individual way, where you need to be nourished from the spiritual universe, from the natural, pure universe of oneness. At the same time, I'm traveling us down through the lower chakras and allowing our energy connecting into all of your individual earth stars, chakras located 30 centimeters below your feet, and out of your individual earth stars and a pillar comes a central channel down into the core of Mother Earth. Your uniqueness and your wisdom and your consciousness stays pure to your truth in your earth star. But as we open down to that central channel, we connect to the oneness of Mother Earth. We are feeding the natural universe and nourishing oneself. You are all connecting to points. There is a perimeter around the natural universe which is created by me at this time, for we are keeping you within a boundary that is safe for your vibration at this time. You will giggle, but it looks like a little white picket fence. I love white picket fences. Just a metaphor. And I'm keeping you for now, because your vibration is new, and this is a new vibration that you are receiving. Grace and ease, grace and ease. It's like you are all connecting to a part on the picket fence, holding your energy there, knowing you do not have to return. You are naturally fed by the love of the natural universe. Dimensions so far away that I wouldn't even be able to put a number on it. And if I did, you probably wouldn't believe me. A place I travel regularly to get the wisdom, to hold the consciousness, to take you on this day. Energy is infinite. What does that truly mean? It never runs out. So we do not have to bring the energy from above down or take the energy from above up. We just have to open the channel and allow it to run through. It is infinite. We are always tired because we truly don't believe energy is infinite. Energy is love. And with this distortion of over-giving, this is what has created physical exhaustion in humanity. We are truly pure beings of love. And we are able to be immortal if one pure cell just rejuvenates in its own purity. But with these distortions, we have manifested sickness, mental health over the years and centuries and decades. But this has been for a reason, for us to continue to seek the freedom, to seek the oneness, to allow the separation of duality to dissolve. We are doing this. You are living your purpose. You are all bringing consciousness back to love. Your path is individual, but all of you have a unique purpose of bringing the vibration of this planet back to the purity of love and dissolving duality. As we now travel the energy through the flow, we are moving with it, but it is continuing to move down into the core of Mother Earth. We are tapped into the natural universe, and it is purifying our central channel, all the chakras, connecting to all of the endocrine system and all other systems in our body. No more sacrifice. It is all here for you. Just receive. Trust your faith. Believe in yourself. Believe in the spirit within you. It is everything and nothing. For that is love, the 0.0. As we now travel down and connect in to the depths and the center of Mother Earth, filling her with the vibration of the natural universe. And bringing our awareness to every cell in our body, purifying, cleansing, rejuvenating, and healing. I am love. I am love. I am love. As I watch the energetic matrix of the Akashic Records be rewritten from a point of pure love, the distortion in our DNA is healed. And this is the time where we now offer this to all of humanity. For you, beautiful souls, your divine will and your free will have been aligned for some time. You are on purpose. You are living with the Spirit within you. You are living in alignment with your soul. For others, in humanity, may not have reached this point in evolution, for we do not judge, for there is no better or worse, it just is. But for some, they are still driven by their free will. And the free will is still one of the most powerful energies in this universe. And these distortions in our DNA gave this free will this power. And this is where the ego has taken control of so many. And this is why this intervention needed to come at this time to purify. We came from a time of experimental, is that the word? Time of evolution in Atlantis, Lemuria and Avalon. We were not always aware of ramifications of consequences as we hit a dense duality of a three-dimensional vibration. But we are now healing. We are now cleansing, we are now purifying. And it has learnt us and taught us so much through the evolution of consciousness. So now, through the vibration of the natural universe being fed through all of you, down through your uniqueness in your truth well, in the Earth Star, down into the core as a central pillar into Mother Earth, I invite all of Mother Nature and all of humanity, like a spark of light and ray coming out from the center and the core of Mother Earth, we ask them to receive the healing that has taken place within all of you today. We give them permission to receive the work and the healing and the essence of love. We cannot make others receive, but we can offer and acknowledge and allow them to make their decision. So as this vibration filters out through the depths and layers of the earth, through the crystalline energies, through the underground rivers and streams, to all that exists within the cavities and craters of Mother Earth, we allow you to receive. And the vibration is now being received by humanity, by all forms of consciousness on this planet who wish to receive magic. As I see it, like fireflies, ding, 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 ding. These are the billions of people receiving, the billions of cells within consciousness receiving the healing and the vibration from the natural universe. Mother Earth is grateful. Humanity is grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful to have you supporting me on this magical day. This is a milestone for me, and I am so excited and thrilled that we're making a difference, that we are brave enough to action the courage to be spiritual, to be different, to be unique. I am now just going to allow that vibration through an intention over the next hour for all of humanity to receive what we have done. I will be then sitting with your energy, bringing you back to the resonance of who you are within the heart and soul and spirit within. I honor you for showing up. Until next we meet, be love. Know you are connected to the natural universe. You are the natural universe. You are everything and nothing. 0.0. You are creation. You are love. Bye for now. Many blessings.